All right, let's take a look at your weather today. Thank you so much for staying with us. From BCN Weather Center, this beautiful weather that seems so much like fall is upon us. Thank God that heat that's been unbearable most of the summer is just about over. We've got some cloud coverage over the Bahamas, over the northern Bahamas. High pressure off to the east. A frontal system that moved through the trough has exited into the Atlantic. And another frontal system draped over Georgia is slowly making its way down. But here we've got a high pressure with the ridge of the high continuing to bring some pretty seasonable weather across the area. Let's put our satellite and surface map into motion so you'll see how the system has been moving over the last 12 hours or so. Here you have the trough that's and a frontal system that's exiting the area, and we're in between the high pressure and the front to the west, to the south, and a frontal system to the north. So we got some pretty decent weather, but some clouds still lingering over the Bahamas for today and into tomorrow. Let's take a look at our satellite imagery. We don't have a whole lot to worry about. I was out yesterday flying, and as soon as we got airborne, about 5 minutes later, they'd punched on top of all of the clouds. So it was just a beautiful flight, like a blanket over us, under us. It was very nice. You couldn't see the ground until you got just a short, about 10 miles north of Nassau. But it was a very, very nice flight. Pretty much the same expected today. We got some showers down near Cat Island today. Showers over the Exumas. 1 or 2 showers showing up just around Cape Eleuthera. And the Abacos looks quite nice. The nation's capital also looks pretty decent today with, again, some cloud, mostly dominant down over the southern and central Bahamas. Let's take a look at the morning radar. Not showing anything of significance over the northern Bahamas. Again, down in the Cat Island area where there is some area of concern with some showers. For today, 5 to 10 knots. Northeast to east winds, 5 to 10 knots northeast to east, 15 to 20 knots in the southeast Bahamas where you get those showers. The wind gusts and seas will be slightly higher in or near those conditions. Mostly 5 to 10 knots from the northeast. Occasionally you might see something popping up around 10 to 15 knots, but that's not going to be the order of the day as we look into what's happening across the nation. Our tropical update, listen, we're almost finished with this, folks. We're almost done with tropical update. Let's pray that we continue to have a good year. We've got a system just down near Nicaragua in Central America that the forecasters are forecasting has a likelihood of developing into something later on, but it's not expected to impact this area. We will monitor this, and if there's anything that occurs with it, you'll be the first to know. Let's get right to the forecast for tomorrow. Frontal system moves over central Georgia and pretty close to the Florida panhandles in North Florida, in the Tallahassee, Panama City area. That front should be moving into there by mid-morning tomorrow. And again, it's not going to be impacting us because we've got the high pressure, scattered clouds still lingering. You'll see sunshine during the day, but the cloud will be lingering over Abaco and Grand Bahama with mostly sunny to partly sunny skies over most of the Bahamas through tomorrow. Beautiful, summer-like, but temperatures down, humidity is down, really comfortable over the next couple of days in the Bahamas. Look for the winds on Wednesday to increase 15 to 20 knots as that frontal system gets closer to us. 15 to 20 knots over Abaco, 10 to 15 over the nation's capital, 15 to 20 knots over Grand Bahama, because we'll be closer, Abaco and Grand Bahama, we'll be closer to that frontal system. The nation's capital and then down to Eleuthera, you'll see 10 to 15 knots. Southeast to south, 10 to 15 knots in the southern Bahamas. All right, Thursday forecast. The frontal system should move through Thursday sometime during the day. The winds will clock around to the northwest and north, 10 to 15 knots. Nation's capital, 10 to 15 knots. Southern Bahamas, you would not be on the northwest side of the front, so you'll still be seeing the southeast to south winds here in Eleuthera. Whenever that front goes through, you will know the winds will clock around to the north and northwest. And of course, that means airplanes will be landing from the other direction at Nassau. It takes a little longer to do that when the wind's out of the north landing on runway 32. All right, here is your boating forecast for today. 1 to 3 foot chop over the bay and inland waters, slightly higher offshore, 5 to 10 knots north-northeast, light chop at Whale Key, 5 to 10 knots in the southern Bahamas, 1 to 3 foot seas offshore. High tides occurring at 6:25. Today, low at 12:45, just afternoon, high in the evening at 6:40 p.m. It's a good week for you to begin doing your fishing off the rocks at your favorite spot. A friend of mine said he caught himself a pretty good snapper right off the rocks on the bays right here in Dundastown, and it came right off the rocks and into the pan. Wow, the best kind of eating fish. So find your favorite spot. Unfortunately, it's lots of mosquitoes out there, so we got to get a hold of environmental health. Let them know that the mosquitoes are carrying you away, so make sure take your mosquito repellent. And tomorrow night, the tides will be higher later. On Friday night, the tides will be higher even later. Saturday night, tides will be higher even later. So you can go out and get a few hours well of good fishing in after dark. Just go on out there and do the best you can. That's a look at your boating forecast and your weather from BCN's Weather Center. Brought